You got spare game codes or any digital goods? There is a place you can sell them in less than 1 minute. Watch. Go to D2CL.com. Click Start Selling. Fast login. Go to My Account and click on Selling tab. Sell new item. Enter name, code, set a price. And done. D2CL.com Digital Marketplace. Global selling simplified.
Welcome back, everybody, here to, let me hit that right one, everybody to the D2CL broadcast for our final series of the night, our second quarter final of the playoffs. And of course, it is another Swedish team, NiP. Well, they were always known as the second Swedish team until they became the #1 Swedish team. And now there is the heavy battle between them, as well as the Alliance, who just got eliminated 2-1. Who will be able to advance through? Will the Swedes still remain in the playoffs for D2CL? We're going to find out, but it is a Russian team standing on their door. It is the Empire. Team Empire, they're the ones that we are looking to see if they can defeat the second Swede team for the night. I say we because I am not alone. We have moved ourselves out to a different place, and clairvoyance, let me hear the dulcet tones of obviously your very deeply distracting voice.
Turning you up as much as I can. There's a lot of static, but I think we'll make do. I'm here, and so are you.
Yes. Yes. I apologize for the static. I don't know.
No, not much we can do again. I think it's just the team speak thing and how things are set up in general, but it is what it is. We'll do with what we got. And NiP versus Empire. You know, NiP has been receiving some heat recently. I've been giving them a little heat myself, and I won't deny that. They've been looking somewhat out of shape in comparison to what they really could have been, you know, since the Majors point of time, and let's see if they can pick it back up here.
You are right, like NiP, they're one of these teams where if we look back like a year ago, and their original path to TI4, I think it was, and they were like, you know what, we never expected to make it to TI4, that's fine. Our goal is TI5. And then things didn't turn out for that either, because things just didn't connect. They didn't work together, and they were always the same, like friendship and cooperation and functioning as a 5-man unit is where it's all at. And they do have moments where you're like, oh my, like NiP, you are an amazing team. You can contend with the best of them out there. But there's some other moments where you're just like, okay, like there's no wheels on this train.
5 seconds remaining.
Yep, they are truly the CDEC of the European scene.
Oh, really?
Well,
really? I wouldn't say CDEC.
That might be a bit stretched.
Yeah. Because CDEC are just like, man, I saw those guys at New York again, and when they lost a game, holy crap, they tore shreds off each other. We can actually hear on the stage. After CDEC lost their game 1, they went off into this side room area off the stage in Madison Square Garden Theater, and they just started screaming at each other. And it goes down the corridors and then bounces onto the side of the stage, and we're sitting there where the casting desk is on the side of the stage.
Oh, really?
And we're like hearing them just yelling at each other, like, oh my, like okay, they were not happy with their loss.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yep.
I mean, that certainly paints a different image in my head. I thought they were like the definition of this unity and friendship kind of thing in the scene.
That's
the underdogs who came in from the wild card, went to the second place, and
that's what I thought as well, man. That's what I thought as well. At the same time, I also rode home in the bus with them at TI5, and they're a pretty loud bunch of guys. Like, that was after they qualified for the grand finals of TI. So they were very jovial and having themselves a great time, and that bus, like, you couldn't have another conversation with those guys in the bus. It bounced around the entire bus like, "Whoa, Chinese are here!"
Yeah. Kale. The good old stuff.
Is that? You surely know more Chinese than Kale.
Oh, come on, Toby. Really? I really don't, dude. I'm sorry to say.
Really?
Kale and Ni Hao and
Sheshe.
I'm sure the rest of all that goodness can just stay in China for the time being.
Dude, I just have to remember Sheshe.
10 seconds.
Sheshe.
Pardon me?
Sheshe.
Oh, yes, that's true. That is true.
The height of manners, man. The height of manners.
You're you know, geographically speaking, you're a lot closer to China than I am, so I think.
Well, geographically speaking, when I was in Australia, I was even closer.
Oh, that's true. True.
Dota speaking, China was the first scene I cast.
That is indeed. And we have come a long way to see NiP versus Empire.
Yes.
And we now see the picks with the Dazzle as well as Shadow Fiend. The Shadow Fiend getting banned out in all 3 games in the previous series there, but we know why, of course. The hero, probably one of the best heroes in the game right now in general. Like, from the middle lane, the amount of farm he can accomplish for himself, as well as handily winning the lane in a 1v1 scenario a lot of times. It's just so good. Covers all bases.
I'm kind of surprised by NiP with their second phase bans, because Slaughter is one of the heroes that Team Empire turns to time and time again. And with the Dazzle in the pool as well, I'm really surprised they decide to let it through. Or maybe that's just because they have a Wyvern Darkseer. They don't care if a melee hero just starts running at them with a physical damage. You've got Cold Embrace. You got a Vac into a Curse. Like you got always an instant way where you can control up the Shadow Fiend as well, which is a beautiful thing from NiP.
NiP definitely have the right tools. I agree.
And the Wyvern's also a block pickup against Empire. Like we have Card who is statting for us tonight. And he actually sent me that Empire actually play a hell of a lot of Wyvern of late. They're 4-4 on the hero, but still they play a decent chunk of Wyvern.
I think the Slaughter, as you mentioned, is definitely still a very good option, though. It's because Empire don't just run it exclusively in the offlane, I think. As a matter of fact, I think Silent plays the Slaughter more often than not when he gets the Slaughter on the side of Empire, not Resolution.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's not going to be the option so far. It is the Clockwork. I guess a decent counter to Wyvern. Not really in my head because he can kind of Arctic burn out, but it's just one of those heroes that when you catch somebody, you lock them down in place, and it is somewhat disruptive to the Darkseer as well. The cog as well as the battery itself, just interrupting the combo that he wants to do with the big vacuum wall, could be a potential threat to Empire and, to NiP. It's not a bad pickup. I do think the ball is in NiP's hands though. With that Clockwork pickup, I think they say, okay, we have the counter initiations, we have the lane security with the Darkseer. How do we want to buff up the line the way we want? And how do we want to deal with this Shadow Fiend Clockwork core setup? Because those cards have already been shown, whereas them, they haven't shown their 2 or the 1 position hero so far.
Man, you just get the control. You get something like a Rubik pickup up against the Clockwork, and just go ham on the Clockwork the second he jumps in. Like, you've already got so much control out there. The laning phase is going to be decent. Maybe that's another way they could approach it, like someone who can zone out the Clockwork on the lane. But you could do that just by rotating your lanes as well. Like, so the Clockwork has an unfavorable matchup because you assume it's going to be Clockwork off. That would be the assumption. So what do? You put like Darkseer and Wyvern on the safe lane. You run a dual lane off where you run something like... Actually, Queen of Pain is still in the pool here. And then just get a nice passive support to go with it. The Dazzle won't be able to zone out anyone there.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, the Queen of Pain is a very good pickup here, I think. Not only against the Shadow Fiend potentially, but also the Clockwork as well. And there is the Luna pickup now.
Oh, please
NiP
be
have set themselves
Jakiro.
up.
Please be Jakiro coming in the back of this Luna. Oh
yeah.
It would be so good. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it would be.
So Ninjas in Pajamas were one of the very few teams that ran aggro tri-lanes with the Luna, even before her recent patch, which gave us strength gain. They were still one of these teams that liked to run an aggro tri-lane with 2 zoning supports on either side. Now, a Wyvern and a Jakiro together is basically like full aids.
5 seconds
You're getting
remaining.
Liquid Fired, you're getting Door Breath, you're getting Splinter Blasted, you're getting Ice Burned.
time.
It's an impossible lane to fight against, especially when the 2 supports, Wyvern, give him extra range, but he's got the damage from the Lunar Aura as well, plus the Lucid Beam control. It is a suicide lane. The Darkseer is fine against the Clockwork, and you can still pick up the Queen of Pain now to go up against the SF, so she can rotate down later. And then you get a melee hero against it as well. Another physical damager up against a Wyvern Cold Embrace. I'm not certain of this.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious about the Sven pick there. I'm not sure if it's like a lane guarantee for them or if they really like the Warcry. I mean, there is still the potential of running it as a support 4 position type of thing, maxing the stun of the Warcry, but I personally don't think so. And there's the Chen, so we're no longer going to see an aggro tri-lane. Instead, what we're going to see is a pretty heavy push lineup coming out of the Luna Chen, like the classic duo that used to get first picked every game. And Empire, you know what? Looking at their lineup right now, I don't think they have the necessary tools to deal with it, at least in the early game. I think it's very hinging heavily on the Clockwork as well as the Shadow Fiend, how good of a game they have. Because regardless of what happens on the safe lane, I don't think the Sven's going to have an easy time against the Darkseer.
This Sven's going to have a really hard time up against the Darkseer. And your last hero has to be like a wave clearer. You almost need something like the Rubik's Fade Bolt or the Keeper of the Lights Illuminate to try and keep this push back from NiP. And the Illuminate actually won't be enough. The Fade Bolt will drag the creep wave aggro down. But that's basically all. The reason why I was so optimistic about running the aggro tri-lane is because I kind of felt like it would punish Team Empire's SF as well. Because you'd never be able to prep any stacks because you'll end up losing them all. When you lose that tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, your jungle becomes so perilous. The aggressive wards can be placed down by NiP. They can control Roshan. They can take out the tier 1 tower in mid. And the SF's got nowhere to flash farm. At which point NiP practically win the game. Because the Sven won't find enough space to get... and you get a Witch Doctor as well. Okay, that's not the wave clear I was thinking of.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm kind of feeling like this jungle's going to get very choked out for Team Empire very early on. And this Clockwork, once he does hit level 6, the rotation's not going to mean much. Because you're going to have NiP together as a group. And you already had the Vac take him out of the cog, so he can't control one player by just hookshotting in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for Empire. That Witch Doctor pickup is like... okay, so it's a decent counter to Darkseer with the heal. Although they already have Dazzle, so it might be overkill in that aspect. But it's they want to stun up the creeps. I don't know, like, would it repel the push? I feel like they needed a wave clear type of hero. You know what I feel like they should have gotten is like something like Lina, that offers a lot of burst potential and complements the Sven in the lane very well. And I'm surprised about this Witch Doctor one. I feel like it's either gonna work out really well early and then just turn out to be okay, or it's just gonna be very mediocre, like even in the early stages and get ran over. Because I don't see a lot of damage coming out of Empire.
Yeah, well, not until later.
Yeah.
Like, when Sven can stand and he can get that God Strength off and then keep running at the fight. That's the reason why I like the Chikira pickup so much, is because it just slows down the Sven, but this kind of works in the same way. So now you have the ability to kite. And not just kite, like, casually. Like, if you get troll creeps, you get lucent beam damage, you get... like, Unova, you have your Viper Strike as well as your Poison Attack. You can Surge, which means NiP can move back even faster. And then Winter Wyvern also gives his slow as well, plus the Curse. So I'm loving NiP's draft. If you saw this on paper right now, you'd say, man, NiP, like, is brilliant. Like, they give so much early damage, they've got so much ability to push, their laning phase is really strong. They have secondary options to move into the jungle, which is great for them. It just looks fantastic for NiP. But for all those Empire fans out there, we have to find a happy place. Like, what makes Empire's lineup work, Claire? Like, how? How does that lineup work?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be very hard to repel what NiP is throwing at them. And as you said, it's a very toxic lineup coming out of NiP in both the literal as well as the metaphorical sense. Give me one moment. I'm going to try to fix this volume thing. So I'll be back.
Cool, man. Cool. Alright, so... Team Empire. They'll at least be able to get the bottom rune. Resolution is playing the offlane Clockwork because he doesn't play that mid anymore. Yoku is the man for Team Empire that moves over for that. This has been kind of their way for a very long time, ever since Resolution just wanted to move off the mid and be part of that more aggressive initiation kind of role. Silent on the roll as this Sven goes directly in for the Stormbolt. It's going to be difficult for him up against the Darkseer, but as Clairvoyance was saying, that's the reason why the Witch Doctor can just go into something like Voodoo Restoration. So you've got the ability just to keep Silent a little bit more alive without having to burn through so many consumables. Like, he could go in for this Mask of Madness build and just move in from camp to camp. Maybe that's the better avenue here, which gives him the early Morbid Mask and regeneration. But the issue is still coming in close. You don't get the passive regeneration if you're next to a creep wave. So Unison Farm's going to have himself a fantastic time on bottom lane. Just keep the Iron Shells up. He's already found 2 CS. And he'll start burning away at Silent as well as Aloha Dancer's life. And what have they really got in return? 1 deny, and they have to CS underneath their tower. So Silent's up missing Okay, he misses 2 out of the 4 creeps he had in the lane.
Yep. So, I think I'm back. How do I sound right now?
You're fine, man. You're fine on my end.
Yeah. It's just, again, I think it's a TeamSpeak thing, but we'll talk about that after. I can hear you fine for now, and as you said, Silent, it's gonna be hard to CS against Darkseer. Any melee hero that doesn't have some sort of method to repel the creep wave that's like jumping on them with double shell or something like that, it's gonna be hard. And he doesn't even have a coiling blade yet, so it's gonna be even harder in that aspect. I think I'm more curious about the mid lane, which is the classic Viper versus SF, where the Viper used to be picked against SF to counter him in the lane, but I don't think it's like that anymore, and I think we're getting a...
I would look to see when this rotation comes, which it is right now.
Yeah.
Hunskin smokes up. This is the troll trapping creep. That control factor we were looking for. Now, you already know that the stack is going to happen on the 53-minute mark. And the observer ward from the Dire side, it sees a low hard ass. Now, a low hard dance is cut into the tree line because he wants to deny up this rune. Now, it won't be possible. Well, actually, maybe it will be. The paralyzing cast goes to work. The troll trap is still available, and Unison Farm's moving over, but this troll's just stunned up forever. Silent maybe wants to try and make a play here. Goes for the hit, but Unison Farm starts with the Iron Shell damage. Armskin, he tries to run himself away with the surge. He's actually not going to live. The Malediction should end up popping him, but then again, is it enough damage with the level 1 Malediction? Unison Farm can be sent back to base. The paralyzing cast will bounce up, so Unison Farm will die as well. Empire take the double kill. The Malediction worked. He turned around to save his teammate. It still wasn't enough. And that is going to be NiP getting a little bit of a cripple on the start, but the Viper and Luna is farming quite heavily.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm very sad that the Chen didn't decide to just go for mid, as you were saying. Like, if he went for mid, even with the Dazzle camping, I think the timing was just right where the Dazzle was stacking and going towards the left like he's doing right now. And they would have gone the SF pick for sure. He was like 400 HP, and Viper like 3 clicks, and Chen with a Troll Trapper net. It was like the easiest kill in the world. But ended up just finding Witch Doctor, double cast.
Look at Aloha dance, man. He can't work it out.
Yeah.
Like he's been Operation Mindfucked right now. Like he doesn't he doesn't understand that the ward is the magic bush ward because this camp up here spawned.
Yeah.
Which tells him that like there's a ward somewhere blocking this. Probably going to be in the tree line on the side, potentially going to be down low, or going to be on the top. But the sentry ward coverage actually doesn't even cover that normal ward above the camp. So...
Oh, and you see what Unison fan's doing right now?
He is being a dick. and the ping's going to come out from Dazzle saying, yo, boys, this is happening, but Limp is adding so much pressure. The rotation's coming in from Resolution. The Resolution starts the battery assault, but no way to control up Limp. Yoku's in no position to stop this either, and Unison Farm just keeps Iron Shell it. He's not getting a lot of the experience, but he's just taking a lot of the CS and stopping the SF from getting this, which is more important. Like, there's only 3 creeps left here, and SF has to raise to ensure one of them, and the other 2 as well. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah, he stole a lot. That was really nice play by him. In turn, though, he does forfeit bottom lane to an extent, and the more levels that Silent gets,
middle lane,
while the Darkseer is not here.
Limp, Malediction, Paralyzing Cast, and Limp is toast. He just hit his level 6, but there's 4 heroes from Empire coming in to make sure this Viper dies.
Holy crap, yeah. Have you ever seen that gank before by Dazzle Witch Doctor?
It's only because Witch Doctor had the Invis rune. That's what made it work. He just sat right on top of Limp the entire time, just waiting for friends to come in close.
Yeah, and Clockwork level 4, that's the cherry on top right there.
I love how
only out of Empire would you see that gank. Oh, Clockwork, Dazzle, Witch Doctor gank.
NiP just smoked underneath the Observer ward. But again, it's another one of these wards where like this camp has spawned up, but this ward exists here. So NiP feel like everything is just like hunky-dory.
Yeah. And Yoki, I think he is being careful, aware of this fact, but...
He's too far up.
But not careful enough.
Yeah, he came across the river. Stun number 1 coming out from the Mud Golem. And, well, there goes Yoku. No Fear also coming in a little bit too close. They've got the Shallow Grave up on him. But one more attack in from Limp, and then No Fear will be ticking out. And there it is. A double kill coming in for Limp. And this is the peril I was kind of worried about. Like Empire, you get 2 early kills. That's fantastic. But what if you're really slowed down?
Yep. again, I don't see the like their lineup really is kind of all over the place. So I don't know what happens if the SF doesn't have a good game. And so far, SF's having an okay game, but it could get worse for reasons that we just saw. Like
Dude,
the ganks
an
are
okay
way
game
too
isn't
easy.
enough. Like an okay game is actually not enough. The SF needs to have a blinder of a game because you're gonna lose your tier 1 towers shortly. The Chen's only a level 4 at the moment, but this Luna is up at level 6. Aero decided to go for the extra points up in the aura, so he wants to start pushing down the lanes, but with the rest of his team. If he just wants to push the lanes himself, he goes for the heavier points up in Claves.
Yeah, yeah. As we know, with the new changes to glaives, you really want the level 4 glaives as soon as possible with the 6 bounces.
Yep.
It's like the only tool that really helps you farm the ancients. And yeah, given the build right now that he has, it's definitely a very 5-man oriented one.
Yep. And then you ask yourself the question then, does Empire try and stop the push? Like, do you have enough to stop it?
Yeah, I think it's like it's more of like, do you have enough to stop, or do you have what it takes kind of thing. And I think again with the raises, if the SF was big enough, he could be in the front lines raising it down. But again, they don't have too much other tools to repel the push aside from Sven just being annoying on the other part of the map. But can you really be annoying on Sven on the other part of the map when there's a Darkseer doing this to you, keeping you at 50% life points, forcing you to max stun and use stun on creeps? It really is in NiP's favor despite the level 1 engagement.
Yep. It's the moral of the story, and what both of us were concerned about when the draft came out from Team Empire. That you just see this and you understand, like, they really have to make something out of nothing. And Resolution's going to attempt to do that. He runs forward towards Hanskin. Now Hanskin looking for that Centaur stomp. He's can't get it off, however, with the Centaur behind the Clockwork. He couldn't get the stun to work, but they break the smoke on Aloha Dance, who will move forward, throw out the paralyzing cast, but you got this Winter Wyvern ready with a cold embrace. It can't save Hanskin, however, but Era turns on the ulti. He's looking for Yoku in the tree lines. The raise will start. Era comes a raise to the face. They have to cold embrace him up. The cogs from Resolution buys the space if needed, but SF, where's the damage? He can't get it out. Viper will find the kill, and the Chen, he does the body block on Resolution. That allowed for the Lucent Beam, as well as the War Stomp. And they will take, what is that, a 3-for-1 trade-off in the fight it is, because the Witch Doctor died and then respawned up.
Yep, and it's also a tower, so that's a total loss for Empire there. That, honestly, that was like the weirdest smoke gank I've ever seen. Usually you'll see like a Clockwork and the Witch Doctor smoke for the SF or elsewhere. That was an SF and a Witch Doctor smoking into the top, into such a secluded area on the side shop there, and like they have no methods of escape from that point on out. So I don't know, that was like a super forced move by Empire, and I can't help but feel that they're already feeling the pressure to do something.
Yeah, and the pressure to do something too early. Like Clockwork needed a level 6.
Yep.
Like, now that was a simple story right there. Resolution had no initiation. The Chen, like, even if Resolution does go in, he needs to have everyone else behind him. The Witch Doctor doesn't have level 6, but Aloha Dance is now trying to find that in the bottom lane. And it's quite successful at doing so. He actually can do something about this creep wave. Paralyzing Task is quite good against Darkseer Iron Shell creeps.
Yeah. Again though, it's just when you pick Witch Doctor with a Dazzle, you just lack the damage, because usually you want this cast to be the setup to deal with the creeps that are stunned or something like that and have the damage. But where's the follow-up damage?
It doesn't exist right now.
Yeah, just a total lack of AoE on Empire's side really hurts their ability to make plays this game.
Which is kind of funny when we say there's a lack of AoE when you can have a cleaving Sven. You could have an SF throwing out Requiem of Souls, and then you still get your burst heal combo. Well, actually, then again, it's not really a combo because it's only really the Clockwork that jumps in.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. I mean, when it gets to that point, it's definitely there. But the early game, like, they definitely don't have the lineup to get to that point easily. Again, Sven he took 400 damage just from Iron Shell creeps just now, hitting creeps. He doesn't have the sustain yet. He's actually going drums as well, instead of like the Mask of Manus or Mask of like a Dominator build type of thing. So Empire, man, I don't know. It's already looking pretty grim, and the push hasn't even begun to come out yet. All NiP have taken so far is a top tier 1 tower in terms of objectives. And they go for more with the double supports being smoked up here.
Here they come. With Curse available, having a level 2 nuke up as well for the Chen. I hear like a Sven who's only got 638 life, and that's half of his potential pull, and they just go straight into the Curse. There is no waiting at all. He'll get the War Cry off and back behind the tower, but the damage output is just not there. The paralyzing cask was slowing down NiP, and Silent just TPs out. So they just have to fall for the bottom lane. But the Dazzle, not so lucky. He's just the collateral.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't get that kill. I think the way they did that gank was like totally awkward. Because the Wyvern was still in smoke, in fog. And Sven kind of had an idea because the Unison fan was doing an awkward movement. Like he was just walking to the trees out in the way, and he obviously surged something that he didn't see. But like what should have happened, I feel, is the Darkseer surging himself into the Sven with the Iron Shell, so he can actually do damage with the Winter's Curse coming out of the Wyvern. I think that's the story of this game. Like neither team, for some reason, they don't seem to have all the damage that they're looking for without some heroes. The mid tower is going down for Empire, so this is a really good objective.
And Sealkid missing on the denial. Very difficult up against Nesef with that much damage, but at the same time, Yoku overstays its welcome. Era will get storm bolted up by Silent. Trying to keep him away, and yeah, because of that, they don't see the TPing out SF.
Yeah, nice stun by Silent. But again, he's at the middle lane now. He's not farming a safe lane. Of course, there is no tower, so he can't do it relatively comfortably. But 12 minutes in, he's got a drums and treads. But this is really not a place that Sven wants to be. For him to scale this game, he needs a lot of farm. And he needs to create space for himself.
I'm still waiting for NiP. The Rockets are scanning it out because I think Resolution's thinking the same thing I am. With a Chen, as well as Viper, Luna, you could take out that Roshan so quickly that your next team fight is almost guaranteed for NiP with an Aegis Immortal behind you.
Yep, I think so too. And Empire are aware, more than aware of just that. They have the Ancients blocked up as well already, and we have a creep for Era that's trying to stack it with the Helm of Dominator.
Problem
so
is
he has
that
opted for
ward doesn't see enough. Like it doesn't see down for the rotation out from the mid lane down to Roshan. I can only see what happens at the Ancients. Now they're going to Iron Shell one of the Centaurs in. Gets a stun over from the SF, but the secondary stun as well. Into the Lucid Beam. And you're going to let the Eclipse go. The Curse keeps Yoku in position. Now Era does let the Eclipse go. Yoku kept alive by the shallow grave, but the Death Ward is doing the work from below Ardents. Finally the Lucid Beam will attack, but Era will still end up dropping, causing a 1-for-1 trade-off. Unison Farm will be sent back. It looks like Dazzle will actually claim another one. Didn't realize Winter Wyvern was still back at that tier 1 tower. When he ends up dropping as well, and that's a great fight for Team Empire from a fantastic shallow grave of no fear.
Yeah, I think it was like a great turnout because I thought the initiation was really good out of Empire. Like they couldn't have really done too much better there. If anything, I feel like they just placed a ward there on the high ground, but that ward doesn't see anything. They should have placed one in the mid between the tier 1 and the tier 2 where it usually gets placed, and they would have had much more vision for the fight. More importantly, I think Sealkid like committed so much time into going for that ward that he ended up getting caught in a bad position, stuck in the trees there, and ended up paying with his life. But in the fight, Era, he didn't walk away too far from the Requiem, and he didn't cancel the Witch Doctor's Death Ward. Like the Death Ward was hitting him for the entire duration of the grave, and he had Lucent Beam. So I don't know. I think he was just like watching the wrong part of the fight.
Maybe.
Yeah. Either way, it's like I feel like it's a victory for Empire that shouldn't have been a victory for Empire. Because NiP's initiation, that double Centaur stun, that was beautiful. Really well executed.
It was the perfect way to start the fight. And with these many victories which Empire are gaining, they're starting to reverse the 3,000 net worth and experience deficit they had.
Yep.
And this is the big thing. Like the fact they've taken out an early tier 1 tower for me is like a bit of a surprise. Like they're only one tower behind that of NiP, a team running a Luna and a Chen together.
Yeah,
like,
and a Viper, of course.
Like 14, 15 minutes in, I'd be looking for tier 2 towers to come under siege.
Yeah, it's really important to maintain the tower game here. And again, Empire not only doing a good job, but taking one with their own. It's a lot to do with the SF pick, really, right? Like no other hero could really push that tower against the Viper as soon as the Viper disappears for a little while, and Shadow Fiend's the one to do it.
Well, this moment, Empire find the perfect window. It's another 10 seconds until Eclipse comes back off cooldown. There's fortification from NiP to buy him that time, but this Observer Ward, it gets de-warded out as the creep wave moves forward and Empire just bail out. The tower is just outside of deny range by 2 life. Yeah, that's a thing. And Silent can even force out the bottom lane. Like he knows they're all up on top, trigger your God Strength, beat into this tower. It's going to be a while before you're going to actually have like another chance to use this God Strength.
Yeah, I was wondering, when are they going to port bottom? This is
It's gonna
This is
be
kind of weird. Like, they were wandering 5 men into their woods. I'm not sure what their plan was.
It's just Limp.
It's a lot of wasted time, I think.
Unison Farm's
And now
coming down.
Resolution.
He's going to 4-star forward, try to actually grab that rune, but instead he gets the Iron Shell right on top of Resolution. A nice back into that Lucent Beam, but the Weave's going to remove their armor, and they can't stay close. They'll let Clockwork run away.
Well, I thought he was going to wall for that and try to chase him with the illusions, but I guess when he saw the Dazzle, he just realized he might get healed up towards the end of the grave.
Yeah.
Either way, 4-staff pick up on Unison Fan because he realizes against Clockwork you really want to 4-staff on Darkseer more than anything else, so you can escape the cogs in case it comes about. But his force into the Darkseer, that was kind of awkward. I feel like he could have saved it for something else, and I don't know. It just seemed like a waste.
Either way, NiP will take out the tier 1 tower in mid. After that small little engagement. And the top tower is finally going to be brought into deny range. But they're already prepared for it. They're waiting for Yoku to come forward. And now the stun! The Lucid Beam, it cancels Yoku. And Aloha Dance can't help him out. He wanted to from behind. They curse on the SF. It was a 3-man smoke rotation through the Dire jungle. And they end up being Unison Farm who will take out a double kill. Era to deny the tower. And a big fight coming from NiP.
What Yoku did there, like a lot of people do. I don't think even CSGO players have the reaction to do that the way they want to do. It's like when the enemy starts TPing, you TP right away in anticipation of it. Like the amount of reflexes you would need, like the degree of reflex, I don't know how to say it, but the reflexes you need in general for the timing, the precision to make that TP happen against the stun. I'm not even sure if it's in the realm of possibility, because most of the time when they're TPing in, they're gonna Q their spell, so it's gonna happen right away. And your hero, depending on where your hero has to TP, your hero's turning. So even if you react in the very fraction of a second that happens, I don't know if you can get that TP off. But it's just a really bold / cocky play to have.
Well, I hate to say, man.
And there's the Ancients counter again.
TP did not work. They just keep putting these damn things down.
Yep.
And the Dire
Arrow's like,
reward,
screw it,
okay,
I'm just gonna farm it now.
Now they get rid of it.
It's just not a single stack, just a 1 Ancient spawn.
There's still a huge army from Hanskin coming down. I almost want to say though to NiP, like, yeah, I've been pushing Roshan pretty high up in the list, but right now is probably not the time to do this. Like, you need to get a couple of pickoffs in Empire beforehand, or else you give Empire a window back in. A good hook shot, a weave to prepare. As Ven having a blink dagger means you can get a clustered storm bolt when you go in for Roshan. So this becomes a very dangerous affair, what NiP are now starting. And the rocket from Resolution, as he's off target, is coming down to scale a little bit further south.
Wow, you know, if they did scuttle with the rocket, this is definitely contestable.
Yeah, and they're right on top of a Dire Observer. What they smoke up, it's actually, yeah, they would have smoked in range of the obs, but it's already over. Yep. Era's got the Aegis the Immortal, and now Empire do not want to fight. You never want to fight into a team who has an Aegis the Immortal and already has a superior team fight. But Silent says, screw it. Goes for Hanskin, takes out the superior part of it, which was that Hand of God and the full Chen army. He just cleaved through everything. And then backs the hell out. Limp looking for somebody else. Aloha Dance. Saw him in the tree line, but Unison Farm just a little bit too late. Forced and blink forward to try and catch him, but it was all just too late.
Yeah, it's just a little bit awkward there, I think. I do want to say, even with the Aegis though, NiP are slowly missing their timing. That's not just the Chen death at this point. When you die like this with Chen, it's like you have so much downtime even when you respawn, because you have to go around scrounging around for creeps. It's like a Shadow Fiend, like when you respawn, you're not really at your full strength because you're missing half your Necro Mastery stacks. And for Chen it's a lot worse because he's really dependent on his timing. If you look at his item progression too, he's not the mech buyer for this team, the Darkseer is. So he actually just has mana boots and nothing else. He has a cloak, maybe he can build into a Glimmer Cape, but that's not happening anytime soon either. So, I don't know, man. NiP, they gotta get something done here.
Where are they going?
And Resolution's shutting them down.
You're right. It kind of feels like NiP are chasing ghosts across the map. They hadn't observed ward watching the Ancients then. Like, they know Empire just flash farmed that, so you got to assume there's going to be a decent item coming the way of Team Empire. Most of it went to this Ven, so he's getting closer and closer towards that BKB of his. But they had full armor up and running. And now, Like, you're forcing into the mid tower, and they've got all ultis online for Team Empire.
Yeah,
They're
and,
actually
and
even
you know what,
split
Yoki's
pushing on
just
the
farming.
side. Like,
Exactly. Like they realize this. They say, okay, we're not gonna hold this push against the Aegis and all this presence from Chen creeps. We can take the tower. We'll just get the most out of it. But it's like NiP. They had a plan from the very first minute, the very first pick, and they had so much difficulty executing it that finally 21 minutes into the game, they're taking their first tier 2. And I'm not even sure if it's a worthy trade at this point. You want to get a lot more out of this Aegis than just that tier 2.
yeah.
And Resolution's going in.
Wait, he actually jumped. Okay, he
Oh
did.
my gosh, they actually got the pick there.
They catch out the Wyvern, and Resolution wants to try and take out one of these like Chen creeps. And let's be the Centaur. Goes for the stomp, but Resolution takes it out with a rocket. So the pull back from Huntskin also won't work. But the bigger thing, which I'm loving here from Team Empire, it's like, okay, so they don't take the towers. They don't give away too many kills. So they still hold the gold advantage on their 2 cores. But Aloha Dan's going for this Hand of Midas. He was the man that I was flagging on that bottom lane that was continuously farming up. His Aghanim Scepter is now only 1,300 gold away.
Yeah.
NiP, like, the timing to go high ground was meant to be in the next, like, 2-3 minutes.
I think it was now, actually. I think, like,
Yeah.
22 minutes into the game with the Aegis, this is when they should have been high ground right now with all the tier 2s down.
But they can't do it now.
Yeah, they can't. It's just, it's way out of their league at this point. I don't know if it's possible. This Sven, when he has a BKB, they have nothing aside from Winter Wyvern Curse, and chances are they want to use it for initiation to get a pick off outside the base if they do ever find one.
But how do you get the
So-
initiation? Like, that's the other question. Okay, so you've gone past your timing, and you need to find a pick off now to make your high ground breach work. But
Right.
who's your pick off? Like, right now it's Viper. Getting a
Yeah.
Viper strike off. Like, that's kind of it. But you need to get the kill very quickly. The rest of your team has to be there really, really quickly. Because if you don't, there's going to be Shallow Grave, there's going to be Paralyzing Cast, there's going to be Storm Bolts coming in, there's going to be Requiem of Souls to push you back, there's going to be Clockwork hook-shotting in and then just splitting up the team fight with the cogs. Like, there's all these things from Empire, which are initiation/counter-initiation, that causes huge amounts of problems for NiP, that they can't just get a pick and push. They have to commit too much to get the pick.
Honestly too, like you mentioned with the Witch Doctor almost getting his axe, looking at NiP's lineup, they're very cluster type lineup that they have to stay within a specific parameter of each other. I'm pretty sure this Witch Doctor, if he stands in like one of the tree line fog areas and he drops a Death Ward, his Aghanim's Death Ward might just like repel the push on its own, or wipe Empire or wipe NiP entirely.
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
Really good rocket from Resolution. Scouts out the entire lineup of NiP pushing bottom lane. But they know what they're here for. Like, Era's forcing out the lane. They can now creep skip this as well. They need to take out all of these tier 2 towers. Especially the one on the bottom lane, because once they take out all these tier 2 towers, they get the next Roshan, and then they fight. But that's got to be the mindset right now from NiP. If Empire want to contest them on these towers, Empire will be fighting into a position which is not really comfortable for them, because they have to go from low to high ground.
Silence here at mid, he doesn't have a TP. I was wondering when he was going to fight out. He finally recognizes this. He really needs one. Like, if NiP sees Silent, which they do right now because he's pushing out the creep wave at mid, and they see him without a TP, as long as he doesn't have one, it's all the free time they have to do whatever they want. And
But look what
I guess
Unison
that's not
Farm
enough.
is. Like, they understand this, and that's the reason why they sent Unison Farm back really early on. So now they go for that BKB. The Curse will cancel Silent's TP out. So even though he does have one, running away from this, that BKB is still that long duration, 10 seconds, but Unison Farm, he just gets in front, starts the body block up with the Iron Shell burn and the extra poison. Silent wants to just keep running this one out.
Oh my
Unison
gosh,
Farm,
he's
he's
gonna
actually going to
survive.
blink out. He's
Oh
got
my
so
goodness.
much armor. The Wild Wing and Troll are going to rotate into Unison Farm, will get stunned up, but the Troll traps off cooldown in 1 second time with the Viper Strike and Resolution, the back into the wall. Resolution will die for his Ven. Meanwhile on the top lane, there's a double damage Shadow Fiend attacking into the tier 3 tower, which will force NiP to return.
Yeah. You know, what I thought initially was a really big mistake by Silent turned out to be like one of the most space-making moves ever. He survived. Of course he did expend the BKB charge, but these fights, when he jumps in with his BKB, he's gonna kill 2 heroes in like 3 seconds, so it's not a big deal. And then, more importantly, NiP, they expended like all their spells for that. I don't know where the Eclipse came out on Era there. I think it might have been earlier on the tier 2 push, but regardless, it's just another tool that they're missing for the next engagement.
It wasn't used on Silent, so it had to have been used on the tier 2, because
Yeah.
I was watching the mid, not watching the bottom.
Right. Well, Era does close it on his BKB. He's 300 gold away, and I think they're waiting for the next Roche as well, so that's also a healthy bonus for them. But at this point, Toby, I'm really wondering if Empire can just contest them at the Roche. I think they can, with the Witch Doctor being in the position that he gets, with the Aghanim Scepter, he might just wipe them.
Yeah, Empire can. 100% they can.
Yeah.
The only
They
issue is
smoke
when
right
they do what they just did. They smoked underneath the Dire Observer Ward. So
More importantly, they smoked way too early for a Roshan engagement, because this Roche is not spawning anytime soon.
they're coming for kills. They're coming here for, not only for kills, for Ancients. They might have been hoping that someone from NiP will be farming up the Ancients. They scouted it just a second before with Resolution to Rocket. And now, hookshot. They find Era. Sven gonna jump in, keeps the Wyvern out, gets the stun, so there's no ability to get the curse, and now the Death Ward will start to work with the back from Unison Farm. Cancels the attack, allowing Era to escape. Limp may be going down, but that corrosive skin keeping him alive. The 4-star helping out, but Era jumping away from Silent. Silent will finally finish the job. And a little bit further down, Hanskin with the Glimmer Cape running back into his base. But Team Empire with a great start to the fight will now make it so they take out the Luna, they take out the Wyvern, they'll take out the triple stack. And do they get lucky enough that Roshan spawns up in the next couple of seconds? No, they do not. It is almost the max duration Roshan.
Well, if they did, this game would have been completely in their favor for sure. But again, just a really nice catch if you think about it. The Luna is just away from BKB, couldn't finish it in time, and of course they locked down Seal Kid on the Winter Wyvern long enough that he couldn't get his Winter's Curse off, and we finally saw the Aghanim's Witch Doctor ulti come into action. So I dare say, with Limp,
nice hook shot. Where's that 4-star? It does actually come out. Coming out from Unison Farm, and they're trying to go for more. They catch out the Shadow Fiend, another Darkseer back wall. There's no Death Ward for another 9 seconds, and well, Yoku tried to stand his ground, some good raises, and that bloody shallow grave is making it impossible, and they know it's impossible to kill him. That's why they back up. A Cold Embrace. Wyvern was going to stay alive anyway, because he survived the Death Requiem. But NiP are able to get something back here in the form of the kill on the SF, and Unison Farm once more. He's got, he doesn't have enough mana. Like, he could blink to Vac, but there's just nothing more to give.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know why Resolution went on the Viper there. That's, I'm just not sure. I think he had this idea of just creating space and causing chaos amongst the enemy lines type of thing. But the team, like, sort of poised towards it, where they wanted to chase in. And then what ended up happening was Yoku was caught at the wrong side of the tower on the tier 2 there. And that's why he got picked, I think. So a little awkward, but again, Empire is still very ahead due to the picks as well as the game progression, how it's went. You're even on towers against the Luna, Chen, Viper. You're doing just alright.
I love what NiP steal from Team Empire. Their siege creep to stack up Ancients. Nice tanky unit, and can be used. And can be used later on to actually like push down lanes. It's there's a lot of crafty things. It's no joke with that guy.
You know, I have some friends who play Chen exclusively, and one of my Chen friends, what they did was they actually got 5 carts, 5 siege creeps.
Yep.
And it was with a Helm of Dominator, of course.
Yep.
And the rate of them killing a tower, it's just so unexpected, because what you would see on the minimap is like a whole bunch of creeps, right? And you really wouldn't pay attention to when there's like a fight or something like that.
Yep.
But the tower just drops.
It's crafty, man. It's crafty.
Yeah.
Roshan's up in about 30 seconds time, and NiP. At this point, they're looking to fight beforehand. Either that or they're just looking to try and ensure the jungle area. And they're going to smoke. Now, there's no Radiant Observer Ward here, but the pings are coming out saying, yo, guys, I think something is up. You got Silent pushing up a long way in the mid, and he's
oh my gosh, he doesn't have a TP again.
Yeah, like we've gone full Cloud9, and Witch Doctor also getting caught out. He's gonna get stunned up pretty quickly. He went for the Death Ward, but Unison Farm moves over, surging as well. Silent's running out of here now. He's underneath that Dire Observer Ward, and he's gonna find himself an invis. There is a Sentry Ward, so if he runs back,
high ground.
Oh, he almost got the back. Silent. Yep, Unison Farm.
Oh, they think he's there.
They actually think he's up there.
Oh no!
Unison Farm's like, I know you're here. I feel you're here. I feel the presence, and now they said, like, okay, he's not there. But Silent cannot walk back in. He might be waiting for the perfect blink timing, but Steel Kid and Hanskin are in the great position, so they just sit just outside. Unison Farm's in a nice spot. They tornado up, so it's difficult for Empire just to jump in, and in fact, it's impossible. They let it go. Roshan belongs to NiP.
Wow, I guess they were completely not in position for it, because I thought there could have been something really cool with Silent going in there. Because
It would have been suicide, man. It would have been complete suicide if he did it. Like, he would have died.
Oh, he would have died for sure, yeah. But he might have been able to steal the Aegis, I think. Because you have rocket vision, and he was invis as well, so they can't actually see the angle of approach that he's coming from. And I don't think Seal Kid would have had the presence of mind in that situation to say, okay, he's going to blink in for sure, and just have the winner's curse hovered over the Roche pit. I don't know. It's not really a play you go for, but I thought it was possible.
Didn't realize No Fear is a Naruto fan. Also love the fact that all of the effigies are broken these days.
You know this No Fear guy, every time I watch an Empire game, he never feeds on support ever. Like he never like has bad deaths from what I've seen. I think earlier when it wasn't that good either, because like he chased to save his SF friend and they ended up both dying. But like, his positioning is like either really phenomenal or something. I don't know what he does, but he never feeds. I never see him like have a lot of deaths. Very good player, I think.
Aloha Dance is about to be chased down now. There's no other stuns.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah.
He used the Lucent Beam to initiate, so he triggered the drum charge, then went for the Lucent Beam to slow him down so he could catch up. So the TP was pretty simple after that point, because remember, NiP have no initiation. They bought a Blink Dagger over on Limp, just so he had the ability to initiate with Viper Strike. Like that's his goal in this game.
Yep.
That goal just became even harder. Oh, they got an Assault Cuirass on this Ven. This is actually ridiculous when he can walk around with basically 46 armor. That's the AC plus the Warcry combined together.
Opponent's armor plus 20. How do you kill anybody on their Warcry, really? It's such a strong spell.
You can't, like this. You have to rely on your magical damage more than anything else. Like the physical damage from Era just doesn't cut it right now. He needs more.
You know, I do want to mention, I've been keeping my eyes tuned into the net worth chart for a very long time, and I'm going to have to hold that thought because an engagement's about to break out here.
Yep, they jump forward, they find Unison Farm, the hookshot from Resolution on the back of his fresh axe. Gets the kill on the Darkseer, and Era, well, he's kind of got to fight this. It's a good call over on Yoku, but Silence BKB protects him, and Era, the Death Ward! Oh my, that is a triple kill coming in for Silent. You do have Unison Farm coming back in, but he can't save Era. It's an ultra kill for Silent. He will be denied the rampage by No Fear. The man who doesn't feed, but he is the man that kills secures. Yep. They take out the entire of NiP and will now force down the mid lane. Yoku's also trying to make sure this catapult traders will not be tolerated in the Radiant camp.
I mean, Toby, could you have seen it happen in any other way? This is just a product of what happens when you go into the late game with a Sven and SF. With a Viper, with a Luna, with a Chen, these no long-range initiation heroes, not enough damage, not enough anything, 30 minutes into the game.
But we did see it going down the other way. We saw it going down the way of the NiP push, but the NiP push never came.
And they missed their timing, man. When you miss your timing against this kind of lineup, well, what do? You just have to forfeit everything. And they're about to forfeit their base here.
Well, they could fight, but there's no Eclipse available. There's no Hand of God available. And the Wyvern Curse is still on cooldown for half a minute. Resolution's itching for a hookshot. And Unison Farm itching for an attack. Gets the back for a two-man wall. They do get that Viper Strike off, but no. The Manta dodge actually works, and Silent decides to turn around for a moment, but the Death
the Witch
Ward,
Doctor Ward! Oh my goodness!
Resolution's control! Where's that bounce damage? The Cold Embrace will protect Era for the moment. The Low Dance has to give it up. But they brought down the Chen once again. A low dance with a paralyzing cast.
The double cast.
Now he moves forward to keep Unison Farm as well as Limp controlled. Era wants some kind of revenge, but the mech goes to work, and Limp points himself forward. The Cogs have burned out his remaining mana. And then Silent jumps forward, trying to capitalize on the situation. Able to do so. Seal Kid will get the curse off, but Era outside the base. This is GG. They have to call it. They've lost everything. The entire team, like almost 3 times over. Even before the bottom ranks is taken, the timing was lost, the game was lost.
Pretty much, man. Very, very classic lineup coming out of NiP here. You know, we saw a lot of throwbacks today between the Bat Riders variants and, of course, the Chen Viper pickup here. But
we also see the reason why it fell off, and it definitely has its limitations.
It does, but at the same time, it could have been amazing if you had a Chikiro in the back of that lineup. You could have
Yep.
started pushing, and then
Yep.
you'd actually have things like for the team fight. You got initiation at work. Chikiro, it's all about Jackie, boys. It's all about Jackie.
All about Jackie, boys.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. All right, short break. We'll be back here for our second game of this best of 3 series.